Hey team, welcome to another Star Walking live stream. Today you're joined by me, Deb, and Luke. We are going to do a talk. Geez, wow, I could try better. Today we're going to talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, there will be spoilers aplenty. Please log off now and come back when you've had a chance to watch it. Okay, don't laugh at me, Luke. This is live, so I don't get a chance to edit, unfortunately. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a chaotic month. Star Wars month is finally coming to a close, but it's still happening. So, with of course May the 4th and then Mando towards the end of it. It has been a chaotic ride. So it sort of engulfs many Star Wars fans' entire life during this month. So it's been very busy, and I'm kind of in a way glad that it's settling down a little bit. So
is it more?
It's not
me. For me, it doesn't feel like it's settled, only because we had CollectorCon in New South Wales today, and then next month we have Supernova in Sydney, and I am not prepared. So there's a lot of work that needs still to be done for that. So I don't feel like anything's finishing, but that's okay. I'm having a break now while we're having a chat. That's fun.
Yes, definitely. And I think I can see a couple of people jumping on already, which is awesome. So welcome everyone. On top of all of the Star Wars things that are going on, Star Walking stuff has been very busy as well this month too. So with our memberships and that's been very, very busy. So if you haven't signed up, which I'm sure we'll talk about today,
let's just do it now. Why not?
Why not?
It is. We've mentioned it's Star Wars month, and one of the things that we do is our annual membership drive. So I know I've paid mine, but so it's annual. You renew it, you get bonuses. This year, what do you get, Luke?
Well, if you do sign up to the premium membership, you get one of these bad boys. So I'm not going to take it out of the plastic. Oh no, don't worry. This is my one anyway, so I will take it out of the plastic. So a beautiful coin. It is raised. I'll see if I can focus on the camera a little bit better, maybe. It's going to try and focus.
Trying to do one of those magic tricks, or it's behind someone's ear. That's what it kind of looks like you're trying to do.
I know, it's like it can almost disappear anyway. But it is 3D. It is raised on it. So it's it is very chunky.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
It is pretty cool. So I'm trying to get that camera right on the right angle. It is amazing. Yes, this one is mine, so I'll put it back in the plastic. Yours, if you do buy one, it'll be, untouched from human hands.
It won't have Luke germs all over it.
Won't have Luke germs on it, no. But yes, we've been busy sending those out. So if you haven't received it, don't stress. I've been doing them in little batches. We are all volunteers here, so I'm sending them out when I got time.
Are there any left? So if people sign up, are there any left?
Yes, there is some, but we do have limited stock. So I would suggest if you are keen on getting them, getting one of these, we are limited to 200 pieces maximum. And I have a feeling we're probably more than 50% of the way through. So, yeah. Oh, okay. See a few people in there that have already received them.
Yeah, Lorraine and Tony have got that. I haven't got mine, so I'm still waiting for mine. I trust that it's on its way. It better be. What? Those of you who and welcome Christian as well. Those of you who don't choose to go for the coin option, because the coin option is an additional cost on top of the usual membership. If you don't choose that, you will get a generic image of our current mascot, which is the Darth Maul Red Belly Black Snake. So you'll get a coaster of that. But if you sign up for the additional membership part, then you get the coin as well. If you've signed up for the general membership and you've now seen the coin and you change your mind, send us a message and we'll see whether or not there's any left to see if you can add on to the extra. It looks like Christian hasn't got his either.
It'll be coming. It just might be something in New South Wales or something's holding that up. So since Deb and Christian haven't got theirs yet.
Australia Post better not be stealing our coins.
No, I hope not.
We're not being proud.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Welcome Emily and David. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking Mando today. Again, just a quick reminder, anyone who hasn't done their membership, get on there and do that now. Get onto our on our webpage and select membership, and you can go into it. David hasn't got his, and his is not New South Wales.
No,
But
he's
it's
in
coming.
Victoria, but I know why he hasn't got
It
his.
will
So.
come. So membership, do that. Otherwise, spoiler alert, we are talking Mando and Grogu. I want to know, how many times have you watched the movie?
Me?
Hmm.
I'd say 1.25 times. Do you kind of look that way? Yeah.
I do, and welcome, Alex. I do want to know what that experience, and this is not something I had planned to ask you, obviously, but I know that the team in Melbourne had the opportunity from Disney and Lucasfilm to be able to go and see the first 30 minutes or 20 minutes of the movie.
20, I'd say 27 minutes, but they said 25 on the in the communications through it was. So
and then you went and watched it in your own time separately.
Yes.
Did you? What was that experience like?
Well, knowing that what was going to happen in the first 25 minutes, I wasn't rushed to get there to the start of the movie.
You could turn up. So you could turn up late. That's so funny.
I could have turned up late, which I actually did. So I didn't really. I was with Tom, who is Tom Foolery cosplay. We were doing a bit of an event. He has just joined us, yes, and we had something else on prior, and we got a bit distracted, and ended up getting in probably about 15, 20 minutes into it. So that 25 minutes is kind of like, well, we've seen it already, so it didn't matter.
Lucky. You didn't miss anything. So
no,
was it
really
strange, though, having to end and then not see where did it go up to? I just really would like to know.
So it went up to where they saw Rotter for the first time in the ring.
Oh, and then they cut it.
And then they cut it. So they saw him do his little body slam on the
Yep.
the fly. He got squashed, and that's pretty much about it. So you saw Grogu eating the popcorn, and I don't think he's doing that bad. And that was it. Like, I was surprised we got that much content. I'm just like, when we saw the screener of it, like the teaser, I was half expecting it was like when he got off planet for the first time and going to hyperspace. Right, that's it, guys. We're on the mission. But no, we got a lot of juicy goodness. So
interesting. I just find that an odd thing that they did. So we've got a couple of comments. We have Alex says he's watched it twice. Tony's watched it once.
Christian said 5 times. Wow.
Yeah, and welcome, Tim. Thanks for joining us.
Lorraine's 3 times.
Who watched it today? Colin. Good thing, because we're doing spoilers.
Yes.
We have... Oh, Tom says it was great to go with you, you legend. Hey,
it was fun. It was a fun night.
Some of us are also legends. All right, let's do it, guys. I thought we'd start with the beginning. Why not? Let's start at the beginning. Some things that I noticed, and then things you've noticed, and guys, jump in if you've noticed something or you agree or disagree. Just one of the things that hit me in the beginning of the movie was I guess they call them warlords for a reason. Oh, Tim, you haven't seen it. Oh, Tim, we're going to be spoiling. If you need to, you may leave and come back later, because I don't want to spoil, because we are going to be.
This is spoilers.
Complete spoilers. Absolute 100%
if you don't mind
spoilers.
Getting spoiled, hang around.
Yes. Right.
Because it's been out for more than a week now, so yeah.
Yeah, a week and a half, and so we're spoiling away. Don't want spoil, and anyone else that starts to join us, we'll let them know. This is spoilers. So what I found interesting is, hi Neil, thanks for joining again. Like I said, I'll do it. We're doing spoilers for Mando and Grogu. If you haven't seen it, don't want spoilers, hop off, watch this later. Otherwise, enjoy the ride. We start off with the warlord, and I found it really interesting that the warlords are acting just like the gangsters, like the crime lords. Making people in the villages pay tokens, and it hit me how much they weren't behaving what I would have expected the Empire to behave like. So I expect Empire to be order and control, but not acting like a crime lord, as in, you have to give me a token or you're in trouble. Do you know what I mean? Like, that just felt like gangster, not... And I know it's warlord, but it doesn't... It was disappointing to see the Empire stoop so low. I know people have their views on the Empire, but I can see the positives in it. But that was the first thing that hit me. Oh, Christian, I was going to comment on that too. Big pipe cap myself. One of my notes was love the Anzellans. Funniest line, big pipe, huh? Me and the people behind, piercing ourselves laughing. Not everyone was though, just us. Loved it. Anyway, getting back to it, the Warlords. So we see them. Any thoughts on that first scene? Mando's entrance was amazing.
So yeah, Mando's entrance was amazing. Like we had kind of seen that spoiled to us from previous content. So although the content was very grainy and blurry, and someone's handy cam, that version of it in a crowd at one of those like D23 events or whatever it was, it was still amazing to see it like proper on the big screen. Like I saw it on IMAX, and it was very impressive to be in that grand scale, but like that power vacuum that all these commanders or warlords is what they are sort of described for now. It's more them trying to maintain not necessarily peace, but power, keeping control. And they're doing whatever they can to maintain that, whether it's by fear or by whatever reason. And this one is by, let's threaten people. And if they don't conform, well, we'll remove them.
Makes complete sense why the Republic wants to get rid of them.
Correct. So it's a power vacuum, and essentially the same thing happens in a lot of the novels, the books, and all that sort of, where the remnants of the Imperial sort of like, we don't know what to do, we'll just do it our own way. So
yep.
Thrawn is a good example of that.
Yes. You know what? One thing I do want to comment on was Mando's entrances. One of the things I noticed throughout this was he goes bang, 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 shoots a bunch of people. Fantastic. He's a sharpshooter. He's amazing. But then feels the need to then let his fire go. I just felt like it was a little bit overkill and not necessary in certain circumstances. Like, why? Why are you bothering? When he used it against someone who had him pressed up against the wall, completely. Use your fire to get that person off you. But otherwise, it felt like it was just I'm going to spray the room because that will look cool.
I looked at it as more of a distraction. Because if you look at what the troopers were doing, they looked at, fire, then got shot because they weren't prepared what else was coming. So it was a, look over there technique.
Yeah, okay, that could work. Christian made some interesting points. So you saw it in IMAX, correct?
Yes.
I saw it Christian says watching it in IMAX in 3D was definitely the way to watch it. It was 10 times better than a regular theatre showing. I didn't see it in IMAX. I saw it in ScreenX, and then I saw it in a standard theatre. To me, there wasn't that much difference, but then I didn't see it in IMAX. But ScreenX was cool. It has the extra sides, and it was big, and the chairs are more comfortable, but it didn't make that much difference to me. I don't know if anyone else has got an opinion on that.
Like for me, I'll probably end up seeing it again on standard sort of cinema or VMAX or something like that. But like having the opportunity to see it on IMAX, you got that sort of vertical aspect to the screen as well. So it's even taller. The like I don't know, you can see more detail in it. It just encompasses more of the, like you said, ScreenX, you get more of that sort of like peripheral vision.
Apparently you can. You do see more of above and below in IMAX, where ScreenX, I got to see some more of the side.
Yeah. So depending on whichever version they bring out, probably on Disney Plus, I'm sure they'll probably have an IMAX version because they have released IMAX versions for other movies on Disney Plus, like the shape of it. So, they may do it because it was filmed for IMAX. So, which is interesting because they've got the next problem coming up for Disney and Warner Brothers, which both films releasing on the same day have been designed for IMAX.
Oh, interesting.
You got Dune and you got Doomsday. Good luck.
Okay, so we got to see another version of a mouse droid, which I thought was cool because I really love mouse droids. That's pretty awesome. What do you think? Well, we already knew Grogu exploded it. We saw that numerous times.
Yeah, we saw it's in the trailer.
That wasn't that. I wish I didn't see that in the trailer. I'd rather have seen it in the movie and not known. Now the next part is the part which almost had me off the movie, which was the what are you going to call it? I don't know, the chicken walker. It's not a real,
that little thing.
Chicken walker, like sliding down the mountain. Yes. That was a bit far-fetched. It should have crumbled itself trying to go down that snow. That made no sense to me. I also struggled with, why do you have AT-ATs on the side of a mountain? I get the special effects. It looked cool, blowing up everything. That was amazing. But just the logics of it just was like, I don't know about that. But that's my view.
Okay, so like there was definitely some choice CGI in this film, and that was one of them. The giant snake, of course, was also another one.
Yeah,
that was very interesting, and being a main feature in the film was they should have spent more time on that. But it is for cinema. It is for the screen. So putting some sort of entertainment in there. What was he going to steal a speeder and just like fly down it? No, fully makes sense why he used it. You know, can weave in amongst the legs of the.
Does it though? When you've got a backpack and you could just a jetpack and fly down. Anyway, keep going.
Fuel. Use someone else. Yeah. No, I get that. Like the opening sequence is brilliant. Like it is top tier. It was great action. It was a bit of fun, and then
yeah. that and the snake are my two criticisms. The rest I enjoyed. But those two things bug me so much. All right, so then I've got on my notes, because after the snow scene, unless there's anything else you want to cover on the snow scene, we end up at the rebel base. I have to say, Sigourney Weaver's role, or whatever, I can't remember what the name of her character is.
I'm sure someone in the comments will let us know. What's Sigourney Weaver's character's name?
Please tell me. I found her character very charming, very well, almost layerish in the way that she portrayed herself, except for one line, but the rest of it was very layerish, and I really enjoyed it, and I was very surprised and happy with it.
I loved the fact that they brought Sigourney into it. She brings a level of prestige to science fiction, and a level almost like sci-fi royalty to the role, because she's been there, she's done it, she's been the bad guy, the good guy, bad woman, good woman, the action superstar, as well as that subdued character. And the fact that she's now in a role where she's like, I'm here, and I potentially just get a paycheck, but she did that brilliantly. She did exceptionally on screen for that. So
I loved it. I thought it was going to be cliche, and I thought it's going to be tokenistic and
more of just cameo-esque.
Just a cameo kind of thing. But she did the role. She was the role. She convinced me that she was in Star Wars and this is who she was, and it was important for her. I loved it. I was really surprised. It surprised me. I didn't expect it. I expected it to be different. So that was one of the things I came out with very happy with.
I was very happy with that scene coming into the base. It's very much 80s action film, very much like Days of Thunder, sort of almost that theme was very 80s, and it this is the sort of style of film that we're like the show we're coming from, that era where it was like westerns. This is also the action sort of side of things. It's keeping that same type of filming it, that we're like the nostalgia film. So it opened up with the suns in the background with the X-Wings coming through, like the good silhouette shot that they bring through in that sort of era.
The Top Gun scene.
Top Gun scene, yes. That very much 80s-esque nostalgia moment. So, okay, cool, exciting, brilliant. Let me get down to the business part of it, which is the plan. What has he got to do next? So
yes. The only thing I will say that, and it's later on in the movie, but the only criticism I had of Sigourney was the trash comment about now go pick up the trash, which was Mandalorian in the water. And then towards the end of the movie, I was like, oh, no, that was a bit trashy comment. But otherwise, brilliant. Oh, Nick is being very pro Luke Sword at the moment and saying you should have been in the movie. But me,
I would have loved to be in there. I would have loved to catch the paycheck too. Don't worry. I'm sure everyone in this group chat would have loved that too. So
100%. We all want to be in it.
Yeah, no, I saw a couple other comments. Yeah, there was another couple of comments like Nick Quinn saw it in Gold Class. I'm sure there's other people.
And that Sigourney was an awesome fitting replacement for Carl.
I think so too. they both have that sort of level of sort of rapport on screen that, like I said, film royalty in a sense. So
yeah. We're in the bar. We got to see a whole bunch. So whilst we're talking about Sigourney not being a cameo, there were a ton of cameos.
yes,
all the directors had well, not all of them actually. We were missing a couple, but a lot of the directors were in the bar scene. Makes me want to be a director just so I can be in the background. And I feel it's a little isn't it a little unfair that, you know, they could have offered it to people like us? Would you like to be a background character? But no, they get to direct and be in the movie. Rude.
I saw another reviewer essentially said the same thing. Like, well, why are they just, you know, part of their contract, they get to be on screen as well. It saves having to find someone else to pay for the day. I'm like, it sort of takes the cheapness out of it as well. Like, oh, okay. It makes a bit so it makes it a bit cheaper in a sense, where like they're just, you know, stealing someone. Oh, we'll just put them on screen. No, these opportunities for background actors don't come along far enough, especially in Star Wars properties. So I understand where people are upset with that, but also, why not? They are cameos, and we're talking about it now because we saw that person, we saw that person, we saw that person, and as
because you go, oh, wait, was that Dave Filoni? Yes, it was. I saw
exactly.
the hat.
He's wearing his hat. As Sony just mentioned in the group chat as well. So, Alex has jumped in. Sigourney plays Colonel Ward. So,
thank you. That's what I wanted.
Like from there onwards, we got that mission. Like, go talk to the Hutts. He doesn't work with the Hutts. I don't like working with the gangsters. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, but he also gets gifted the like a new ship. That threw me. I'm like, yeah, I can't work for the Republic. Why not? I want a new ship.
If they give me the little toys, why not? Yes.
I know. But you know what's funny about it? Towards halfway through the movie, he then goes, yes, I think I'm finished with all this now. I don't think I want to do any more, right? He obviously does. He changes his mind again. But when he's like, yeah, I don't want to do this, she's like, okay, then. I would have been like, give me my ship back.
Yeah.
Sure,
I'm sure she'll remember that. She'll remember that and go, all right, well, just when we need you, we'll call you, sort of scenario. So
yeah, I think that's the deal, is that you've got no choice. That ship, you've been owned.
Yes. Although he did modify it halfway through. Yeah, bypass this, do this, it goes faster. Yep, done. True. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, okay, so they go on the mission. Yeah.
The plan is to hunt down Rotter to bring him back to his aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Who we later find out will want to actually kill him because he's the heir to the Hutt throne.
They're Hutts.
Oh my god! You know, exactly. Not surprising. But that hologram of Baby Rotter is hilarious. Great. It's sort of like a live action version of what we saw in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. So, oh god.
Apparently, Jon Favreau, I think, created or designed that image. The Stinky Return.
So.
Yeah. I found some things interesting. Did you notice that Rotter had his Jabba, is it Jeric or whatever? What's their Distelic?
The little symbol. Yeah.
Yeah, he had the tattoo on the back of his head, which Jabba had on his arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, the clan was on the back of his head.
Well,
I was
clan
like,
symbol.
Look, there it is. That was pretty cool.
Sorry, my cat keeps moving around my feet. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Yeah. No, like it was okay. Yes, the distinct different clans, and the twins had their own symbols as well, and which was plastered everywhere in that base, that symbol.
Yeah.
But definitely, Rotter had Jabba's symbol.
He does, but he doesn't have Jabba's personality.
No.
The cutest thing, no, or the size of his arms. But the fact that he fed Grogu was adorable. So, like, you won over all the softies who were like, oh, look, he's feeding a little baby.
I was half expecting it anyway because, like, only in the trailer, you see Din Djarin and Rotter fighting. I was half expecting Grogu to come out and go, essentially what he did with the Rancor in Book of Boba Fett. Let's tame this giant beast. So it's like, all these steps that we've seen in previous shows and like all this information, it's like all just coming into one play. Of course he's going to befriend everyone. How could you not befriend it?
Yes. What I found interesting about him, though, was how they fed into the storyline of him being captive and believing everything that his capturer, I don't know what the word is, had to say to him. The fact that he was going to be free one day, one last fight. It's just really sad because we find that even in a lot of human relationships, that people will just go, that's okay, well, this is just going to happen and then you'll be fine. Or I'm just going to do this one more thing and then you'll be free. One more thing and then we'll be fine. One more thing and I'll sort it. One more go and I'll stop spending that money. One more drink. One more this. One more. And we get so sucked in by people saying that it's just this one thing, but it's never just this one thing. And that's true to this story. It was going to be just this one thing, but it wasn't going to be a good ending.
That when he said that like reminded me of watching Gladiator or even the second Gladiator or anything around that sort of time frame when you got those people going into the fights. It's like, oh, I've got one more fight and then I get my freedom sort of thing. It's like, it's we know it's not going to happen. We know, like, if you've watched enough movie and film and TV, you know that's not what's going to happen. The person in charge likes you there for a reason. You make them money. You make them power. You make them in a position where this is good. I need you here. So, and if you do threaten that by, oh, you got to leave, they will try to kill you, try to take you down. And essentially what happened with the Jajaric board, which I thought was really clever.
Really well done.
How they did that. Okay, yes, it's a like a gladiator sort of environment where one-on-one sort of situations happen, but it's like it puts a different perspective. It's not, Jajaric may not be chess. Jajaric may actually be a fighting game, which is inspired from this, how would you say, final onslaught tournament, sort of like, everyone goes in there, last person standing wins. Last monster standing wins. So,
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Correct. Or 20 go in there and but it's a different, they put like that game that we've known from, like 49 years ago, we've seen it on screen, let the Wookiee win scenario. They're playing, we all assume that was some sort of form of like a chess or
just fun.
Like a tactical game, some sort of thing. Cool. This is a bit more than that now. Like, it has another layer to it, this game.
Yes. Yeah, deadly. I absolutely loved, if you ask me something I loved about this, apart from the humor of the Andalans, they're my favorite part of this movie, would be the monsters getting free. It was almost like I was cheering for them. Yeah, you get out in the city, run havoc, go for it.
If you look at this, every single one of those were probably in Rotter's position as well. One last fight and I'll get to leave as well. So they probably all promised the same thing. So as soon as that opportunity came to, oh, I can run, they all did. Knowing full well what was going to happen, they were all dead. So
it was interesting. I went and saw it with 2 different people, and the second person that I saw it with was actually Victoria. And partway into the fight between Din and Rotter, and all the Jajaric characters come in and they start attacking Rotter and Din, and she goes, those characters, wouldn't they be fighting each other as well? And I went, hold up. And then you could see them in the background fighting each other. She went, oh, okay, good, I'm happy now.
Yeah, they were.
She's like, no, they'd be fighting each other.
They were. It's like they were. Of course, you're going to focus on the main, the core of the story, but in the background, yes, some of the weirder looking ones were fighting each other and like taking each other out unintentionally. So yeah.
Oh, so funny! It was great. I enjoyed that so much.
They definitely spent the CGI on that. They spent the time and effort on putting the CGI on that, where I don't think they needed to as much. So.
Oh, Nick says, I wonder if Roddo will be in Ahsoka season 2. That would be cool if they actually did that. I don't know if they will though, but it would be cool because
if they even mention him or he's like on a poster in the background, I think that'd probably be enough.
I'd be happy with that. That'd be
cool.
Happy.
I don't think they'll put him in there because I think they want to make this as a standalone story from what we've been seeing. So
you were talking about they've gone to Nel Hutta, and we're skipping forward a little bit.
We are skipping.
But we've got Din eventually comes back to his little hut, and then Amazon's coming. You mentioned earlier that they're then doing things to the ship to make it go faster. Oh my gosh, they are the cutest little things. But then they get in a ship and they fly to Nelhutta. And when Din arrived with his new Razor Crest, the ships come out. They escort him in. Who are you? What are you doing here? Little bit like on Bespin, where you see the Cloud City cars going, "What are you doing here? You can't come in." Doing a bit of a check first and escorting you into the place, right? That's what that reminds me of. But then when the little Anzellans came in, they went under the radar. I found that very interesting that the ships didn't pick them up.
I have a feeling the ships did pick up something, because you did see the ships fly out, but they didn't see anything.
Maybe because they were so small they couldn't find them.
It's a matchbox flying in the air. Yeah. It's probably a bit of debris for them. They wouldn't know. Yeah, it's tiny.
It was.
But so we've sort of like tried to escape from the cool ass planet with the awesome music. Yes. But Rotter's not wanting to go, of course. They end up capturing him, and he end up spilling the beans, tells them everything. Lord Janu is this person, and they do the massive heist. Like, try to get him out alive. Which, to be honest with you, was brilliant what we saw of that scene, but we only saw like half of it. Of like, all right, you're here, and now it's the escape out of that, rather than how did they get in it?
Hang on, when
they captured Lord Janu. You forgot a part of the movie, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, right. What's happened? Yeah.
So they got
they've sat on the beach, and they've gone their stormtroopers in there, and all of a sudden they're in, and then they go, "We'll need backup if we're going to go in there." They didn't go and get
Zeb's
backup.
Like, no,
and then they're in there.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of seeing Zeb jumping off the wall. That was great.
It was cool because that's what he's done in the Clone Wars, in Rebels. Like those sort of moves and things is how he moved in Rebels, which was good to see that they replicated some of that on screen.
Hold up 2 seconds. Jason, welcome. We're doing spoilers for Mandalorian and Grogu. If you haven't seen it, hop off and come back after you've seen it. Otherwise, welcome. We're discussing whatever we liked about it and what we didn't like about it and going through the movie. Join us in our conversations. Okay, so, sorry. I just need to make sure when people join us.
Yes.
That they know.
They capture Janu. They take him back to the Rebel base. All good and well. We get all the information out. He just spills the beans. He's just, I'm not wanting to get hurt. I will tell you everything. Everything, and he just sounds like he's willing just to, all right, you don't even have to pay me, just keep me alive. That's essentially how Janu worked to me.
Well,
which was,
I think he gets it. He knows he's in big trouble and big doo-doo, and what you got to do to survive. Yeah. No one's going to save him. There's no one come after him. All his stormtroopers are dead. That was his power. That was his powerhouse, and he's been removed from it. No one's going to come and save him now. Yeah, pretty much. It's sensible. I would do it as well. I'd be like, yep, guess what, guys? I'm going to be one of you. Or at least try to convince you I am.
You guys now. Exactly. What do you want to know? Yeah, okay, cool. That happened. And then Mando's like, all right, I'm going to go retire on, what is it? Or what's, Grief Karga's planet, back home. Sits on his deck chair and
Navarro, whatever it's called.
Navarro, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to see Embo for the first time doing his thing, which I thought was absolutely excellent. Embo bringing on to live action, which is cool. Mm-hmm. We've seen Bosk back in the day, and he's part of that sort of bounty hunter crew. We've seen Aura Singh, we've seen Cad Bane, we've seen an IG, but the fact that Embo was probably one of the last bounty hunters that they haven't brought from the animated series onto a live action. This was the opportunity to do that, and I think with the dog as well, the Hound, which is I'm sure some of the what?
It's a different one, but yep,
that one.
I can't remember its name, but the old one passed on, and so this is the new one of the same kind of species. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me what the name of that lovely Hound, the tracking dog, is, but I don't think it knew the difference between what Grogu was and Anzellan, so hence why it grabbed whatever it could.
Which was hilarious.
Yes.
Little thing got grabbed. So funny.
I found that scene was very, very it's like it was almost like Predator-like because it was in the dark. You had the the heat sensors and things like that. So it was definitely. I've got all the toys, I've got all the moves and bits and pieces, but it was definitely inspiration from other films. Like this whole movie has inspiration all over it from everything. It
does.
I like this. I'm going to drag this in there. Favreau's going to do this, and I'll do this, and put it all in it.
But at the same time, it didn't feel, what's that word? Fan service. It didn't feel that. It felt inspired. It felt inspired, but it didn't feel tokenistic. I'm just going to throw this in here so then you'll like it. In that sense. So whilst I will say that it's not my favorite Star Wars movie, but they did well for not making it just fan service, which was good.
Correct. So Embo captures him.
Marek was the first dog, but this one I think is a new dog.
Marek's the Inquisitor.
Yeah, but also the dog's name.
Is it?
Embo's dog's name. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, eh?
Why not repeat names? We can do it. Yeah. Now the okay, he got captured, and I think the fact that they had Grogu, like Grogu was safe. He, didn't resist, and he was getting taken. He saw the Anzellan there, and it's like, okay, cool. They think that's the prize, and he went along with it. Kind of. We go back to Nell Hutter, and this is where the fun begins, I think. So we had that little bit of an opening sequence, which was excellent. We had this little bit of all these rushed moments, like this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, like a lot of content happening in such a short period of time. And now this is the second half of the film. So the Hutts want to see Mando's face, and this is the first time we see Pedro Pascal on the screen in this movie, which is about halfway through the film.
And probably the only of the 10 minutes that it's not even 10 minutes that he's in this movie.
Does anyone know in the audience tonight, does anyone know the exact count of how many minutes on screen we actually see Pedro Pascal's face?
I thought it was 4 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. Am I wrong? Am I close?
Well, let's see what the comments come up with, because I reckon that's really close. It is probably one of the least amount of time a character, on-screen character, actually shows their face in any Star Wars property.
Well, actually, good point. So because what I was reading, something around the idea of notice is about 4 minutes. Hi Chris, we're talking Mandalorian and Grogu. If you haven't seen it, we're doing spoilers. We're just talking about how long we think Pedro Pascal was actually on the screen for. Given that he was a headliner, how many minutes was he actually on the screen?
Yeah.
I know he spoke during it, and so that would be his voice, so he was there. But
it was his voice the whole way through,
Yeah, seeing him there. And I have to say, Brendan Wayne, swagger, amazing. Does fantastic. And I couldn't help myself watching it going, okay, so this is Pedro's voice. This is Brendan Walkign. And what's the other guy's name?
Leif Crowder.
Guy. Yeah. And I'm looking, I bet you that's the stunt guy. Oh, no, that's Brendan. Okay, now we're back.
Yeah. No, it's great that I actually recognise all three of them as, as the top three billing for the movie. All three of them were involved with that, which is great. So, we see the mask get pulled.
Yep.
And this is where the thing, the shit hits the fan essentially for Mando. So that's I have to make sure no one sees me. You remember my face, I've got to remove you from the picture. Yep. So perfect. Yep. This is setting up the rest of the movie.
Yes.
Okay. Oh wow, we have a trapdoor in a Hutt palace.
What a surprise!
Oh wow, and it's an even bigger monster.
This is where I have my second issue.
Yeah.
I have so many issues with this part. Oh my gosh, I can't deal. Apart from the fact that there was a snake in the pit, but What I have issue with is he falls down, and then there's the Animan in water who don't get eaten by the dragon snake. And the fact, so these are my issues. And the fact that the dragon snake is so massive that it's curled up all in this thing. How does it actually fit in that pit? How big is that pit? And if it is that big, why doesn't it just go up there and grab one of those huts while they're looking in and eat them there and then? Why does it have to wait to the end of the movie? Anyway, that's my issue. I struggled so much with this dragon snake rubbish. Anyway.
Yeah. No, okay, rant over. Yep. No, I had okay, yeah, movie magic. We're gonna make some action scenes and bits and pieces, but the okay, yes, it's all about what happens next. He gets bitten by the snake and gets poisoned. Yeah. That's really what that whole scene's all about. But
yeah,
the CGI in that scene was questionable, and they definitely rushed this scene compared to some of the other things. Like the snake was 4 different sizes at one point, I reckon, throughout the whole thing. So it was. There was one moment there I actually thought was pretty clever, but that was towards the end of the movie. But when it ate the huts, like it actually had like what when a snake eats something big, it's a bulge.
Yeah.
It showed that, and it had showed both bulges. Brilliant, very clever to detail on that. But some of the choice coloring and movements and bits and pieces was no practical effect on that one. I don't think so. There's a lot better giant snake scenes that we've seen in the past on movies and film, and I think Jason Knight's mentioned one that's in there, the one from Harry Potter, the Basilisk.
Yeah,
brilliant, practical scene, but also CGI brilliant. So yeah,
I wouldn't know when that comes on. I close my eyes, can't do snakes.
Yeah, Grogu comes with Anzelians after his little montage to gear up, which was hilarious. The gear up montage with all the 3 pieces he added to him.
Yeah.
That even though it's in the trailer now, they put it in the trailer. The saves the day and gets Mando out there to escape. Cool.
Yep.
And this is the part of the movie that I actually surprisingly liked more than I should have.
Yes.
Because there was no talking for like a good 25 minutes.
Yep.
And I thought it was great. Just watch Grogu do his thing.
I quite enjoyed this part as well. Seeing him meditate, seeing him build the heart, seeing him bang Mando's head inside of his eyes. You could hear the whole cinema giggling. And then covering him with grasses, and then the chipping of the dirt like a little dog would do. And then he goes off and he steals the fish, and he sits down and beside him and tries to feed him and give him water. And all I could think of was, you're going to drown the dude, you pour water down his throat. But anyway, but he kept him alive. But then he goes and steals the fish. Now, I love this guy that's sitting in the rocking chair doing the fishing. Oh, 2 things. I jumped twice in this movie, and one of those times was when Grogu got eaten by the frog, which I thought was so ironic since he eats frogs. Anyway, so cleverly done. But he steals the fish. But the guy in the rocking chair is like, "Oh, you're the one that's stealing my fish. You're going to get eaten if you're out here." And I'm like, I would be a little bit more mad about the fact you stole my fish. But anyway, but he saves him, and then he gives him the stuff to save Mando. And then this is one of my favorite scenes, is when Grogu wakes up after Mando is actually a well. And the reason it's my favorite scene is because he pops out of the hut. Grogu wakes up, comes out, looks for Mando. Mando then gets up from off in the distance and stands up. And Victoria turns to me and goes, "Oh, he was taking a shit."
Yep.
We were laughing.
Been lying down for a bit.
We were laughing for the next 5 minutes, and poor other people at the cinema were like, "Shut up."
Wow. No, but okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah. Oh wow. Like this scene was good because it translated a lot of things. Like, okay, what would Mando do for Grogu? But as what some comments been coming through here, Grogu builds a hut, and it's like similar to Yoda's hut, very similar shape, very similar styling. Yes, fair enough. The hut, okay, there's always got that bit of humor in there with him pushing Mando in there and hitting the head. The hut's not big enough for him, sort of thing, which I thought was funny. But the little notes to other Star Wars properties where it's like, okay, I got the meditation scene, of course. Got to go get the medicine, such like that. But it's the carer, the father figure looking after Grogu, Mando looking at. It's now reversed. Let's flip the switch in that moment. So he's putting everything he's learned into action, like even the gun shooty, the little paintbally thing. Same thing. He learned that from Mando, and he's putting it into action. So,
interestingly, I could have ended the movie and been satisfied at this point.
Yeah. But then he had to finish the job.
Yeah, I know that. But I could have been ending the movie here. So what I found was we started up this high point. High action. Slow it down. Watching Grogu learn new skills, changing the role, looking after him. And I was like, I feel satisfied. This is lovely. And then I looked at my watch and went, there's still half an hour to go. What is going to happen next?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to go now. I can leave. If I was watching this on TV, I'd have a break and get something to eat. But no, I digress. We're in the movie theater and we're watching it all in one go.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like, I'll say this towards the end about the way it's sort of like structured this film, but it has that sort of crescendo down. We've had this peak at the start. It's like slowly coming down. It's the story, what the core of this movie is all about. Then we show this evolution of a character, which is Grogu, of course. And then we see the crescendo at the end of this film. So it's 4 sections. That sounds like 4 episodes to a TV show.
Hey, but I'm not complaining because I do like it on the screen.
Yes. So we've got this crescendo coming up. And like you said, you had a jump scare coming up when one of our little Amani friends, the Amani jumps out of the dark. And
yes,
a few people in the cinema I was at jumped as well, which was quite entertaining.
I don't know why, because the music changed, the darkness changed. He's looking through. Clearly, something was going to come out, and when it did, it just made me jump. I don't know why, but it did.
So, what I find very interesting is that ship looked like it'd been sitting there for years. Yet it had probably been sitting there for about 3 days, and Nal Hutta can grow really quickly. Like. That's probably why the Hutts love it there, because everything is just so plentiful and just plants and snakes and bugs and stuff just thrive there. That forest was eating that thing within about 3 days. If give that maybe 1 or 2 more days more, that thing was going to be gone. It disappeared.
Yeah, and if Grogu didn't arrive, all those bugs would have eaten Din as well.
That planet thrives on life, just random stuff. Yes, so, okay, Yanzellans escaped, but they brought back the cavalry towards the end, which is cool. He goes to try and hunt down the Hutts in this giant ship, what's left of it, and crashes it into the Hutt Palace.
Yeah, that's a bit... A ship that's already falling apart then crashes into a building that's held together... Yes, by plant material, but plant material needs to be strong enough for it to be held together to hold up all those Hutts. One would think it's a little bit solid, and smashing your ship into it might give you a little bit of whiplash and a bit of other issues. Just saying. I don't know if Beskar can save you from, smacking straight into a wall.
Yeah. No, I think this whole scene was pretty cool, though, because you got this giant tank of the ship getting absolutely shot of that. It was cool, great action. It's the old school Star Wars stuff that we've seen in the past. Very much reminiscent of like Scarif, in Rogue One. That sort of scene where the ship's coming down and that like it's on ground like ship fighting. So Noddy's saying skeleton crew vibe, kind of a little bit of that, but that ship is strong and it's a crawler. It's designed to take a beating, and you wonder how it was so easily taken over. Probably because Embo got it. But we go and save the day, essentially. He goes in there. He uses one of the lovely staps, the droid, like speeders, stand-up speeders. which is cool. We got to see that back in action again.
Yes, and for the people who and for people who like Lego, there's the one with that you can buy currently, which has the battle droid on. Keep it on your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite part of it is these two big droids.
Oh yes,
because these are not CGI droids.
Really,
these are stop motion droids. Phil Tippett
that's cool.
was brought back into it to do these droids. And this, I only heard about this about 2 or 3 days before the movie, me seeing it on that night. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool because it's going to look a bit more realistic, a bit more authentic, and a bit more, like old school robot-y sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it definitely was. And I these giant ass things that guarded the door were huge, monstrous. Grogu taking one out, well, kind of taking one out, distracting it. But it showed that sort of like we can still use practical effects on such a grand scale. Not everything has to be CGI, and it didn't look cheap. It looked brilliant. So shout out to Phil Tippett if you're watching this. Excellent work. That was brilliant.
Bold of you to presume that Phil Tippett watches our work, but that would be really cool if he does. Someone tag him somehow.
Yeah, his work that was involved on that was exceptional, and that those droids, brilliant. That was a good fight.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, where are we going from here?
Well, after that, we get into the into the throne room, where the twins are, and we kind of see like this whole scene is very predictable. Like you kind of see what's going to happen. It's been set up the whole movie. So you got this giant punchline floor that's going to break every single time the huts move. It's like, oh my god, it moves. Grogu's going to save Rodder. Rodder's going to come defend. Beat the thingos.
Although
the twins.
In saying that though, I was surprised that Rodder was lifted up by Grogu. I actually thought that they were going to make Din grab him by the hand and pull him up, and then I would have been like, yeah, sure, mate. You lift up a hut with one arm.
Yeah.
So that, he's gone. Oh, well, bye.
Rodder's several tons, muscle weighs more than fat, and he's got more muscle than any other hut. So, yeah. No, like that whole scene, I think the Embo fight with Embo against Mando in the light, you can actually see a lot more of it, was brilliant. You could see a lot more of the action. You could see a bit more of the moves, the use of the hat.
I thought it was good because there's no lightsabers in this movie, yet there was a fight that was akin to that type of style of fighting.
Yes.
Which I thought was cool that they did that because that's what people like to see. Not me necessarily, but other people do. And I thought that would satisfy a lot of people.
It was definitely cool. So, yeah, now just that fight was great. I'm sorry, I'm reading some of the comments that are coming through. So
that's okay. What I found interesting was later on in the movie, Din gets because they do the airstrike, right? Din then gets grilled later for the huts. We had a good relationship with the huts, and now this has happened. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys did the airstrike. Like you could have chosen not to. Anyway,
but she makes that comment. It's like we're doing the right thing because they we're going to take out the Rotter, and Rotter's the connection we need.
So I have a question. So my question is this: the twins take over from Jabba's business because no one else was there to really take over from it except for Boba Fett. So I'm not quite sure where Boba Fett is in the looking after the Hutt's business. But so they're controlling it. They've got the droids who are supporting them, who are supporting the Hutt. The droids are hired by the Hutt. We have Rotter, who is next in line to the throne. The twins are now gone. So technically, Rotter is in charge of all of that. So he's now in charge of the droids, yet he's on the run from them. That didn't make sense to me. Why couldn't he just turn around and go, I'm the boss now. You need to do what I say.
I know they're going to leave something open for the next show.
I know he didn't want to own the business, but that could have saved them having been shot at.
True.
Just a thought.
Yeah, but like I don't know. There's different factions, like there's different clans. So just
True.
because he was next in line to take over Jabba's position, the twins may have got their own contracts with the droids, and that's why they're
True.
working on Nal Hutta that way. So who knows the politics behind huts? It was very
True,
disgusting at the very start of that movie, how they lived and mingled.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Yeah,
gross.
they are.
However, the droids are wearing clothing, and it bugged me so much.
Yes.
Oh, look at me with all my criticisms.
But one of the comments after the first 25 minutes, one of the comments from one of the crew, Dylan, is like, "Oh, now I can make some more droids, and I can just put custom bits together. It doesn't matter what they look like." Exactly.
Yeah!
This is exactly what it is. It's joy. Like, we can create more stuff. It doesn't have to be, it has to be this specific thing. No, you can have a cape on it, or change its helmets, bits and pieces like that. Why not?
They've had ugly ships first, and when I say uglies, we're talking about ships that have been put together from other bits of other ships and just put together, like in Star Wars, since forever. So why can't we have droids that are just
makes perfect sense
put together?
There was a K2. There was a couple of K2 heads there on standard B1 bodies, which was kind of hilarious, but they were holding giant rifles, which were bigger than their body. It's like, okay, cool. And some of them were holding spears, some of them were holding vibroblades, bit of everything. It was all over. It was a mashup of any droid they can put together to make an army, which makes sense. More people, more characters, or more guns on things will definitely, work. So we see the Y-wings in action, dropping their iron bombs, which was pretty cool to see that giant explosion at the end. Very Apocalypse Now sort of reference with the plane through. Great. And then Mando goes on his merry way with, does his thing. I don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of people watching still, but out of 10, what does everyone think? Because I got two opinions on this, and depends. Like, for me, I'll explain in a sec. But out of 10, I know some people have seen it multiple times and really love it. But out of 10, how would you rate this film? Deb?
So that depends on what I'm doing with that. So on its own, out of 10, or on its own compared to other Star Wars movies, out of 10.
That's where I'm going to come from too, because you've got two different views and opinions.
Okay.
Because this, to me, is not a Star Wars movie. Okay. A Star Wars movie to me is episode 1 through to 9. That is a Star Wars film. There's a certain process to it. There's a certain theme to it. There's a galactic, problem where the heroes have to save something or run from something. This is a side quest. This is exactly it. This is a side quest. So if you compare it to other Star Wars films, and yes, technically you could say the same thing, Rogue One and Solo. Those ones are described as a Star Wars story. So those ones are directly relevant to that grand scale problem. This is definitely a side quest. So something on Crimson Desert that you need to do, you don't have to do. You can forget about. So
okay. So you want to know a rating. Okay, so I haven't thought about a number out of 10. Because I was going to ask you that question and get out of not giving it a number, which is what I usually get away with doing with these things. So, what?
You can get out without me having to say it too. Don't worry, I'll be saying my opinion in a sec.
So, when I've spoken to people about, because today, as I mentioned earlier, we were at Collecticon, and so a lot of people were saying, "Have you seen the movie? Have you seen the movie? What did you think?" We're having a lot of conversations around that, and I guess my answer is, it's a good movie. It's a fun movie. Is it a great movie? Not necessarily. Does it feel like a season of Mandalorian 4 in the cinema? Yes, it does. Would I watch it again? Obviously, I did. Where do I see it as a movie? It doesn't feel like a usual movie the way that a movie I would expect play out. Because there's a lot of assumptions in it that we would know stuff, and if I don't know that stuff, then I'm also going to be really confused. I guess I would give it.
Yeah, but you can watch this film without knowing anything about Mandalorian as well.
You can, but you also wouldn't really know after that the more. But Colin says aimed more at a younger audience. I guess I didn't mind it. I would give it a 6 or 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I did do something. I did look at, well, where does it fit in my rating of all of the Star Wars movies, and it kind of rates 6.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which is
Well,
out
okay.
of what? How many? How
We'll
many
get
are
back
there?
to that in a sec.
9,
but, like,
10, 11, 12. There are 12. So it comes halfway.
Yeah. So some of the comments in the chat are coming out. So some people are saying
Everyone's giving their
5. Some
ratings.
people are saying 8.5, 7.5. Nick's gone 10, but he's also rated Starfighter and the Rey movie as well, which honestly I don't know how you could rate when we've never seen them. So it doesn't make any sense why you're putting a rating before it's come out. So a couple other people have gone 5 and 8.5. So like you got that two perspectives, and this is where we're coming from because you've got your perspective on this movie as a film, but if you compare it to other films, it's different ratings. So, like,
sorry, I was giggling because I was reading Sam. Sam says 5. I almost fell asleep watching the movie at the cinema. Me too, but that's because I went at 9:30 at night and I was too tired.
Yes, don't worry. Like, it's okay. So, my opinion on this whole thing, if I was comparing it to every other Star Wars major film, it's a 5, maybe 5.5 because Grogu's cute. But if I watch this movie as on its own film, I'm going to give it a bit more because it is a standalone film. It is not related to anything else we've seen. It's a bit of fun, a bit of action. You're not there for the script. They're not winning any nominations for like Golden Globes or anything for this. They might win some, like get some nominations for the score, definitely, and probably some of the special effects stuff. Great.
Yep. Music and special effects, brilliant.
Excellent. Yeah, okay, cool. And it is essentially 4 episodes of Mando smash bang together because you got that great opening.
Colin said, a 2-hour Mandalorian episode.
2-hour Mando episode. You got the plan, the rescue, that sort of thing. Then you got Grogu's episode where he's saving the day, and then you got that finale. Yes, it's on a grander scale than what we would have seen if it was on TV, like just on Disney Plus. So they definitely spent more money on it, but it's not a Star Wars film. So if you compare this to every other Star Wars property that's come out on film, Rogue One, in its title, it's called A Star Wars Story, Rogue One. Solo is a Star Wars story. This one does not have that title next to it. It is The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is just a feature film based on those characters from Disney Plus. And I love it for that purpose. I'd probably give it a 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10 as a standalone movie. But if you compare it to every other Star Wars property, a 5.
Yep, fair enough.
That's my comparison.
Yep, no, that's fine. Matt says 10 out of 10. Dave agrees it's not a Star Wars film, but also said that he struggled with Jabba the Hutt's son speaking English. Given that the Hutts
it was a bit weird because yes, you see in the Clone Wars, Zero the Hutt and some of the other Hutts that you see in the back do speak English, but that is in a kids' TV show where if you put subtitles, it's going to be harder for a 10-year-old to pay attention and actually care. If you listen to them, it makes more sense. On screen, speaking Hutsy, but also a bit of English. It's like a bit of mix, okay, but entirely English was a choice.
It made it easier for us as the audience, but I agree it was a little bit, okay then.
Yeah.
A few other things, did you notice all the R2 units on the Rebel base? So some people questioning whether or not R2 was actually there. I don't know if R2 was there, but there was a whole bunch of them.
They would have made a bigger deal about him actually being on screen.
True.
It would have, like the fact that they put the Galaxy's Edge the BDX droids.
Oh yes, they were there. They're cute,
which is cool. They're cute, but they made a big deal to make sure they were known on screen. Yes. Everything on screen in Star Wars is there for a reason. So if you were going to see 3PO or another character, pop up like R2 or any cameo, it would have been obvious.
Such as little things like we did mention that I jumped. I jumped initially 3 times in the first movie. When I watched it the second time, I only jumped twice, and I jumped at two of the same things. The second time I watched it, and you'd think I would have learned from watching it the first time. And one was that part where the Anzellans went to the big pup, huh? You know, they went in the big pipe, right? So they go in there and they're walking along, and then there was this rat type of creature that jumped out at them, made me jump both times. I was like, oh my gosh, again. And the other thing, I don't know, did you notice that they killed a womp rat when the X-Wings were flying? When I saw it with Victoria, she was like, what? Because she loves rats. And she's like, why would you do that? But nice little throwback to Luke saying that he can shoot womp rats. So that was cool.
Yes. No, well, that's the thing. That it's all those like references to other, Star Wars features. And I did see a comment there. This is a movie set in the Star Wars universe. It is completely that. I can't disagree with that. Like, just like anything to do with the Disney Plus TV series, same with the Ahsoka series. It is in the Star Wars universe. It's just not from what we've been accustomed to as a traditional Star Wars movie. So, don't get me wrong. It is Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Andor doesn't have any lightsabers in it at all. That's still Star Wars. That's politics and some great action. Love that.
It's the new era of Star Wars, and we're enjoying it.
Like, will I go back to the movies and see it again? Maybe. Have I bought tickets for it already? Nope. But if my nephew wants to come along and say, hey, you want to? My brother comes and says, "Do you want to take your nephew to go see Star Wars?" Hell yeah, I will. I'll go and take him along because it is aimed at him. He will love it.
True.
I know he will. He'll enjoy it. So, this Star Wars has always been aimed at a young teen audience.
Yep.
Always. When it originally came out in 1977, during the 90s, late 1990s.
And what it does for us is it speaks to our inner child, and that is okay because our inner child needs a good Star Wars movie to enjoy itself and to come out and play. Once all the bills are paid and the work is done and all of the other bull crap that comes from being an adult, Star Wars brings out the inner child to have a really nice time and say, it's okay, it's worth it.
Yes, there was. I'm just reading a few other comments as we're doing this last little review. There was a comment from Dave. A bit that got me was where the rest of the cast from where are the rest of the cast from the TV show? Everyone was all new. And I kind of agree. It would have been interesting to see. I know they had the reference to Carl Weathers with the sign, and we went back to Navarro and you saw the N1 in the background. Yeah. There was some references to the original cast and stuff, but where's Mayfield? Where's
that's
some of the other characters?
You picked one of my favorites.
Yeah. So if that cargo cruiser that was taking off Rotter, taking him was piloted by Mayfield, would have been brilliant. Then he wouldn't have been the one that shot down. That's why you didn't know who it was. It was just a droid flying a ship, an expendable character. So they missed out on a number of characters. So the chick from Tatooine, the mechanic, Peli, whatever her name is.
Peli Motto. However, yes, we would have been like, oh, look, where's someone familiar? But I suspect possibly it wasn't necessary. It would have taken away from the story, and it would have kind of worked like a cameo in the sense of, oh, look, can we squeeze her in for some reason? Can we get her onto this planet somehow and get her to help with the ship? Why? We've got the Amzellans who are cute and funny. I'd rather listen to them ramble on about bag baby than, listening to Peli Motto. So good for them. I'm happy with the choice that they made in that sense.
Yeah, there's pros and cons for both perspectives on it too, because, were they needed for the story? Probably not. If they were in there, they would have had to either a small cameo role, like we saw, Mr. Kim's Convenience guy. He was in there as well, and he's been part of the series as well as one of the X-Wing pilots. Fair enough. So he's that sort of connection, definitely. But where would we have been able to fit that in these other characters in the story to actually make it make sense? So
it was needed, and it was just Mando and Grogu. Otherwise, it would have been, the crew. I don't know,
the crew. Exactly.
The new Disney crew.
The Disney crew, yes. Well, before we head off though, I'm sure we've got lots to talk about. We can keep going for hours on this.
Oh, we probably go. We're terrible like that. Keep going.
Did you get any merch?
No. I'm sorry. I'm going to bitch whinge. Not that I haven't already. But the movie cinema, I mean, I always have with me my Grogu, and they walk through my house. But the movie cinema that I went to was an event cinema, and there wasn't even a poster advertising the movie in the cinema thing. There was just nothing. There was one shelf that had the cups and the cup
Like
tops.
these
That's
cups.
it. The toppers, yeah, those. There was a shelf
Okay,
that
yeah.
had those, and that's it. There was nothing else anywhere that you would think there was a Star Wars movie happening. Nothing. It was very odd. Yeah.
Interesting.
And there was only about a dozen people in there. Oh, the other thing that happened was I went to my local theatre on the standard screen, and there was only 5 of us in there, but there were posters, and there was people dressed up. It's just odd. I found it an odd experience because it's everywhere, it's saturated, but only certain cinemas had big events on. So you got to go to a big event in Melbourne, whereas
Yes.
I didn't see any of that. I don't know what everyone else's experience has been like with the fanfare, but I haven't experienced any fanfare around this movie.
So the cinema I went to watch it fully was at Fountain Gate, which is the big shopping centre near my house. That's where the fan event was as well. They had an event that I went to on that Friday night along with Tom. But like I got a cup, of course. I got the topper. I ended up scoring another one of these because people who went to the fan event
Love that.
left some of them there, which was
I don't understand. They cost
thank
so
you
much.
very much. Like I wasn't going to say no to that, but I got the metal tin and a poster too, which was pretty cool. I got a poster, so
nice.
that was because it was that special event. But
That's cool.
If it wasn't that event, this place was decked out, like absolutely decked out with Mando Grogu things. So I think you saw some of the photos. Some of the photos have been putting up on Instagram as well. But the choices of options, like the AT-AT popcorn bucket, the helmet
sold
bucket
out
as well. No, they weren't sold out. They had plenty of them there, but they might be sold out now. I don't know. But on that Friday night, there were tons of people buying all this stuff and walking around with all these extra merch. It's like, yeah, it's a popcorn bucket.
They were sold out by Saturday of the day to like 3 days later after the movie came out. At least in New South Wales, you couldn't buy an AT-AT bucket.
I reckon if I go past my local tomorrow after work, I don't know about, like, I'm sure some of the locals down there may have picked it up. It's been out for more than a week now, so it's probably all gone. But I saw some people going out there and posting on socials this weekend with the Mando helmet, the shiny helmet bucket. So they still had something there. They weren't not sure exactly what they had. So yeah. But if you hunt around for it, you just got. I think they're not selling it online. It'll be just.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Paul Rocket. Hi Paul. So Paul helps out with Skyforce in New South Wales, and we've seen hundreds of popcorn buckets at club auctions over the last 20 years. Yeah, because people buy them and then go, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, and then they auction it off. Hey, who wants to buy my bucket?
Yeah, I think a lot of people like the AT-AT because it's actually something they can put on display.
Yes,
it's a decent sized piece. So those who are the collectors out there, okay, yeah, they're paying $100 Aussie for it. It's not cheap, and you didn't even you got a small popcorn in it. You didn't get a large inside it. It was tiny compartment, but it was a decent sized toy or figure character that you could put on a display shelf, and it was posable. What they made it out to be was a lot smaller than actually what it was. Like, it was smaller than what it actually was. So, like, I don't normally get the cups or the tins or anything like that, but yeah,
why not? Why not? The movie only comes out once. Why not?
True.
If you've got room, so I don't. But if you've got room and somewhere to put it, why not? Yeah, Dave says Village and Hoyt had different buckets, and they did. Every cinema had different items. So it's interesting. You'd have to go to see it at every cinema, or at least go to every cinema to get all the different merch.
Correct.
Which has been interesting.
Yeah, but that's different contracts, different companies that they then to make it as well. This is not all produced by the mouse for the mouse.
True.
So this is by the cinemas themselves, and the cinema working with Disney and Lucasfilm we want to create this, and then Village or Event Cinemas will have their exclusive, AMC over in America's got their own exclusives and things like that. So, and I'm
Uh,
sure over in Europe they got different ones too.
It's not related, but Nick said Master of the Universe popcorn holders are next. Oh, I just want to throw in a big shout out to Jim and Troy who were at Collecticon today. They did the Masters of the Universe trivia and aced it, won this really cool prize. Anyway,
Awesome.
it was fun.
Well done, guys. I have seen what the popcorn buckets and drink holders are for the Masters of the Universe. They are pretty cool. The drink holder is stupid and insane. It's the sword.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So only the top section is a drink. You can take like screw the rest of it off, but it is like the sword, and you drink out of the handle, which is hilarious.
That's really cool.
But it's only the top sections of drink. You're not going to drink.
Yeah, why can't we have lightsabers?
A meter long, maybe two, like a long sword worth of liquid. You'll be getting up and going to the toilet too many times in the movie.
See, I'm like, why can't we have a lightsaber and we can drink out of the lightsaber? And then, I don't know if Tom's still on here, but then that'll just be like me and Tom over in Japan drinking these cocktails that are a liter full of cocktails. You can't do that.
Be
not
nuts.
sensible.
So.
I don't advise that.
No.
Anyway.
Okay. The experience was good. The experience was fun. I had a good time, but I was lucky enough to experience it as part of like a fan event too. So all the people were out about there for that same reason. You know.
Mine was okay.
Would I say it again? Maybe. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
Well, this has been a hoot, and thank you everyone for joining and chatting, joining in the conversation with us. We will meet again and talk about things in general. Do not forget to get your membership. If you haven't paid for your membership, do so. If you want to know more about it, click onto our webpage and have a look at what the benefits are of becoming a member of Star Walking. And we'd love to have you on board. And we will hopefully have an online meeting next weekend. So for those of you who are members, you're more than welcome to join. The link will be via our team app, which is for members only. So if you're a member, jump on and join us, and look forward to getting your coaster or coin in the mail.
So if you have done your membership already, I am organising them to be sent out as soon as possible too. So if it hasn't left, it'll be leaving in the next couple of days as well. So
excellent.
I've done 2 waves of it so far. I did about 40 at a time, and hopefully, if it hasn't arrived yet, you'll see it within the next week. So
perfect.
It is going via regular post. We're not paying express. That's all part of the cost of it. Also, we're just regular post. So we'll get there. May take a few more days.
By your regular postman.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thanks for having us, and see you next time. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you too.
Bye.
Bye.